wide open. 4, and this is one of my favorites. In any political equation, there's always someone being used. If you look around and you can't find that person, then it is you. 5, serving politicians is like a bandage on a wound. Once the wound is healed, your usefulness ends. 6, in politics, never will more than the bereaved. They will get the reward while you inherit their enemies.
Abusia ma mema mu nyina mu akwaba megidi so ba de adaro ma nyina ye ho ye Sunday no ana eja ye de iko na wi ye ewo UK. Anyway, Mr. wa oba bomodiana ehye emame na entumi enu achire obeka ya enra ye hye eye series a ya tudin eye Agyapade eye document enti ene ye toa eye Agyapade document ne so enra meka say ye nya assignment bi because here Bomodiana yenko a Google and download the Agyapade document so that at least yes, we all can come along with a year and your ma ACC and your ma happen your politics so that we will have the understanding. And Pempi, you know, Ghana for need the understanding of what goes around them. And until we don't know what maybe I say you did actually. So many of us follow blindly what you see. I mean, you roll call quickly na ejamivia mashe eye nkomo ne eso. I mean, chia eye Ivy, minchia eye Philida, Beatrice ewa hase, Nana Atakra and so hase, Sansuna mami fusu mo YouTube. It is share webusia oba bomodiana share video no. Me sure some motemenka mo mami hu se motemenka. Nti yenche yebe come quickly. But before that no, me pe say yetie asemo a papa osofo we.
MPP, the new patriotic party, is antichrist. It's antichrist. All those boys, including the people that send them, are antichrist. So then we can have an antichrist government, an antichrist leader. The antichrist is a system more than a person. It's a system. Can you just imagine whilst I'm preaching here right now, people enter here and say, we don't like you. Nonsense. You don't like me? Do you feed me? Am I accountable to you? Why am I making you? You don't like me. That's your opinion. I love myself. I don't know what kind of nonsense is that. As I'm standing here, somebody can sit in an authority and say, I don't like that guy. Stop your nonsense. You don't like that guy for what reason? Stop your nonsense. I have my job, you have yours. Do yours, let me do mine. And I'm talking directly to Jubilee House. Antichrist.
And Tiabusia, send a year or software eka and no or software a year prophet or drew. You can't antichrist is a system. Is a system. And let's follow along and come on, you understand the system of Agyapade, the document Agyapade, and a year the way a month for a year kufa do mabushia with a year or chehine, womo ebo modian se or move follow. Enti yanko na eja yenni and komono and the menu be our babuamia eja ye be komono kama efa Agyapade no tino obekin kaina eja baby I say ye de enchiremu eba no ye de eye enchiremu aba kama ama obi bia so ayede ati bi enti mesewa oba hyase na eja share video ti ye be kona eja ya hwe eye document no be sure say wo hwade a bomodiana at this particular time then ra say baby I can do ye na ye can do a friend is saying a church about the forward if free forward no afi ana ye baba be do su kona yakum yenti
We put it out there. This document has been in circulation since December 2020, but we put it out there for you, the viewer, to see the contents and make up your mind in any way that you think. Now, this document comes out in the light of the issues currently going on in Ghana. Ghana is due to go for elections by the end of 2024, December. And there has been issues. On the 3rd of October 2023, there was a big demonstration by the opposition party, National Democratic Congress, being the NDC, led by General Mosquito, which is Esiedu Nkatia, who is the party chairman. The reason for the demonstration was the fact that the governor of Bank of Ghana, Mr. Addison, had produced an annual report which indicated that he had made a loss of 60 billion new Ghana cedis. This amount is equivalent to about nearly 6 billion US dollars, or about 4.3 billion pounds. Now, this is a huge amount of money for a small country, and this is why it is necessary to release this document for the ordinary person to read through it and to ascertain if this is a document of real facts or if it's fiction. Now, to start off with, Ghana had its independence in 1957 from British colonial rule under the leadership of Dr. Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah, who helped Ghana to gain independence. Now, Ghana's constitution is based on the American Constitution. The Constitution was drafted in 1992 and revised in 1996 by Flight Lieutenant John Jerry Rawlings, who ruled Ghana from 1979 to the year 2000, establishing the National Democratic Congress Party.
Abusia entiweno eja ya recap nkakra eja ye chirichirim oti ase senia Kwame Nkrumah 1957 oji independence man. Kwame Nkrumah was president for only 5 years, 240 days. Now ye chirichirim, because it is very, very important for you to understand. Baby are ye free, but baby are babedu. Ene sebio ye japadia ye de she amanyokubi F4 ensa. So that at the end of the day, we will not make mistake. Now, ye de ebusuye japadiye no, ye de ama the wrong person. Menu, o my Ghana no ye japadiye. What you say? O my Ghana no, ye japadiye. Ye mami Ghana no, ye japadiye. This is how you have to see it. As a no. What you say? Ye mami no, sebio. Yet me, and in the year, Jumam ye nyam faso money de shenin ba. It is a oko UK no, what in the crony ye ja, or the crony. Or she send you crew no send you for so bebaso. Na emu call for our team no citizens no edi any ahoho for so about a crew no ebedi. You have to look at things in this particular lens. What you say, a dear nema crew a yen shira. The ma a crew a yen shira your natural resources now one. Number 2, when your natural resources you will be a friend of a year value addition. So we'll add value to the natural resources. Enti ukoko no dia na wodi koko ni beye na koko no ho aba mfaso ama wo gold no dia na esa wode ye na gold ne ba ho mfaso ema wo eye wo diamond wo bauxite wo manganese epono a wo no dia na wode pono se pono be ma wo mfaso ejuko krobi to said Netherlands epono a wo mo no wo mo chimunam odi ase ema mo package de ye tuna de kwa nkofo bi kruso ema mo kotonton ebi ba Ghana be yeto. What you say? Intino epono and now kekemfa ama wo say ye sorry no pa ye say ye kwa kudware epo. What you say? There be insure na ye ko insure na eja just for only tourist attraction. And nam no so e wo ponim no so wo mo chibi no mo package no mo de aba obi krom abeton enya foreign revenue. Enti ade bia e wo krom ho bia no eye Agyapade bia no e see e hwe say gold no, how can we add value to it? And ye Agyapade no e wo krom ho na ye diamond, bauxite, manganese no amanfo bia ye abusua kakra bia ye Ekufuado JB Dankwa abusua no Ekufuado mo any a friend say Ken Ofori Atta any what chehine SSA Agyapade no womo be fa ni nyina no mo akontrol na se ye hia bia ye pebia womo polepole ho bi di amaye na no kra womo de bebo ye bosia etimi ne wo ka sei Ghana MPP for no ebi mu ye billionaires ebi mu wo sika sen wo man Ghana no. Can you imagine? What you say? Because ye the Agyapade ne share wo nsa. Instead some the Agyapade on behwe so no yenya ho mfaso no. Wo maton Agyapade ne bi ahu. Ade abobodea e de akwa akosi awowa e wo baby no manga say twa wo mo afome eye companies outside and wo mo ye de ababeto Agyapade ne bi. Enti wo mo sha ase no mo ye PDS. Oman no kasaye echire no omu jai PDS eno kwanya oman no ne kasa bebreu United States of America ene hunu said there be MPP for Ghana for korono what you say Nancy Pelosi nyame shira sa maame no Nancy Pelosi no onu no hunu say ye MPP aban we akromfo omu bo Ghana omu wia Ghana eno ye said there be sika bia ese de ma Ghana na ye de so ye nyinam kane ano no won fa sa sika no mfa mayen almost about 500 something million US dollars. Because when you say and go for when nam frakadam no where the woman reaye it they had a grand agenda. The agenda was to first of all collapse people who have money, who have friends a banking system to make sure say they will cripple them so that they will have power and do show bit to say Ken Oforiata data banker today data bank no ye kope bosia bia no a wo gi wo share wo gi wo percentage gadgepo mu Kelly gadgepo mu ne Ken Oforiata mo wo gi percentage wum entiene no sebio ye kokobo bosia wa manone a we need this particular wo companies no na eno akope bosia na maye ne kope bosia ne maye wi a wo mate wo share oti ase ana sika no so ye kokwaji wi a wo mu sika na the reason dey ekwaji bosia no they don't use sa bosia no for that particular reason kakra bi no wo dey ye because wo mu nim say manfo no bebre no heaven akọ enti ye nim di wo machi enti na dey bi am say Ghana no if the citizens become aware what goes around them politicians will act right and behave. But currently, the citizens don't know what is going on. It's a Japan document, and no na eja yebe bie mu kakra na sebio wonso wohunu the ekoso yento aso.
Now, because Ghana's constitution is based on the American Constitution, I will read an extract from the draft of the American Constitution on the Declaration of American Independence on the 4th of July, 1776. Now, this constitution, which was drafted and came into force in 1787, was influenced by John Locke. And so I will go on to read it. So this document is influenced by John Locke and also Thomas Jefferson. Human rights and the duty of government. We hold on these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equally, that they are endowed by their creator, life, certain unalienable rights, that amongst these life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted amongst men, deriving their power from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organize its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to effect their safety and happiness. And so this document basically based on this declaration is saying that governments actually derive their power from the people and therefore must act in the best interest of the nation and the people, and that if they don't adhere to this, then the people have the right to actually remove them from power. So this document is called Agyapade3, come into force under the leadership of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and masterminded by Nana Amoatia Ofori-Penyim being the Achimhene. Now, whether this document is fact or fiction is going to be read out and the audience can make up their mind. Bear in mind that at some stage there was that idea of Agyapade3, Agyapade3 actually, to be more precise. It was Agyapade3, which was basically trying to consolidate, I think, government funds into a particular fund, which would have then been run as a private fund, and therefore the directors were also given immunity to prosecution. But this document may not have passed Parliament, but a spin-off of it is the Agyapade3 document.
Eti wohwe Agyapade3 no a emfonyini no ewo no emfonyini na eda no eye Ochehene Amoatia Ofori-Penyim papa no obeka kye se yeye no yeye ye kasa no aban ne enya de pa ne ye ka yeye no yeye abayifo ma no wo mo ena hye saa eye Agyapade3 we ase. Eti Akufo-Addo de he is only making sure say wo mo and some one crack mu no will be what executed. What you say? Ahmepankasa, I see you. Henry Addo, I see you. Ora John, mihu. Ebusia Mr. Wabomodi Akoso Mbonkane, I'm sure mihu. Lion mihu. Amponsa David mihu. Adams, I see you. Mr. Wabomodi Ana share a video with mommy. Ajua Frimpoma, I see you. Jikanza, I see you. Augustina Arthur, I see you. Nana O, I see you. Mami Fusua, I see you. Ebusia Yetwa and Command so. Say before I met one command no. Osha America aja womo constitution no a omo kire say senior constitution ti na no to me no e kura constitution no eye nipa no ati krum ho no eye citizens no womo na to me ni wo womo nti so obi ba be fa sa eye ekromafo no womo to me a ekromafo no wo kwan say they were omo rise against sa nipa kro no wuti ase the Ghana so the will help us to resist oppressors' rule.
So as we can see here, I read here Osajefo Amoatia Ofori-Penyim, and as you can see on the bottom left corner, it indicates that the document is written AD 2020, and it seems to be a restricted document. And it's down to the audience to listen to the contents of it and to make up their mind what they think. And so Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who came into power in 2016, promising many good things for Ghanaians. He was a very knowledgeable man and inspired a lot of Ghanaians. But it appears that in his leadership, there has been a lot of problems, and Ghana is currently sunk into huge amount of debt, and have.
It is what to say Ghana. We've sunk into huge amount of debt. A deliberate. TME. Me say then a deliberate. Omayno boka. Politicians now at that omayna no. They make money out of it. So when the citizens are crying, then the politicians are becoming more richer. What you say? So omayne boka. Akufo-Addo mu nyesika. Eno ntina so omayne kobo bosia. Instead say ebi Bank of Ghana and a friend is saying government agencies ne be di anim no. Na Ken Ofori-Atta de ne bank ena ekope bosia. Edi ekope bosia no. Aye ho akere ye no. Ono no enya sika wo yen yedin. Edi wo man ne boka no. A wo mo kaso wo man ne mu aye den no. woman yes sika for woman yes sika at the expense of yenya yeti kroni. TME yentuan communists
basically lost a lot of its natural resources as a result of this excessive borrowing under the leadership of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. It appears that complaints that have been made have not been listened to in any way. So I will just run through this document and then obviously to leave for the audience to make up their mind. So you can see on the right side is the J.B. Dankwa, who was a lawyer at the time of independence and I think was placed in house arrest or detention without trial by the then Osajifo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who actually felt that certain parties in Ghana were not acting in the good interest of the nation. Now, on the left side, you can see Nana Amwati Akufo-Addo as a younger, seems to be a lot youthful at the time. So this is the content of the document. It's a little bit blurry, so I'm going to do my best to read it onto you. So on the contents, you can see economic and financial sector control. So this document, obviously the Akufo-Addo government has been deemed to be the government that has been associated with cronism, a government of friends and family. Yes, and so this document apparently is a plan to control the entire economy of Ghana. That is, with Nana Addo Dankwa in power, and when his time comes to an end, this is a plan document to consolidate power by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his family. So on the start, obviously, the first part of the document talks about economic and financial sector control, introduction, phase 1, overview, phase 2, banking, insurance, and capital markets, 2.1, 1.4 banking, 1.4 again is insurance, and then capital markets, mining, oil and gas industries, and telecommunications. So this is the area that obviously it appears that there is a plan to take absolute control. So
and that particular area, no, Osha, and what do you see? You see, said Dr. Indum's bank has been collapsed. What was the reason why I close Dr. Indum's bank? They said Onisika or the run a bank. Meanwhile, no Osika. How they be running a bank. They said Dr. Indum's bank near insolvent. Meanwhile, the man was running a bank already. Afe yesi any asadi a Osika na so be run a bank ne dia. Any ye pese eja ye increase sika ansa na pese we banka eja winya no ye increase sika no. Sebio bank nso de e sika na ode nipa no o deals with. It is over increase a amount of money as will be nya ansa na wetimi afo a bank or Ghana. You need to give the person a notice. Meboa. And so we there. And I'm saying one more agenda, one more purpose in Tino. Time when we can say Dr. Indum Bank yes a year running into a year insolvency, no. Dr. Indum Bab on Tioba said, there be Misika, we then I'm running into insolvency. Mumba check me books in your all of a sudden Muslim Baba collapsing the bank. There be you have to come, let us sit down. I feel almost okay. You need to get some amount of money and no more Mutimubo Sika Kesibia. Omususu said Dr. Indum entry near the entry. And a doctor said there be Sikana Makano, Mate, and you put to prove na metia says scam. And some name me business partners name of what say you invest in me business. We know Mukudi home come. No mutimi raise that particular amount of money. Na yetimi de send your momo CSA afedie. Mo bayi and your mafufro a banking cleanup no. And you may be a much NDC for and into the umba by any fufro. And into the munya butre. No, quickly, then they went ahead and said, no, Dr. Indum Bank, we are closing up. You know, people started panic withdrawals. Among for Kokoyi Yomusika, every bank, deliberate, purposeful, will book him. Collapse of the banking system so that they can control the banking sector.
With this excessive losses within the Bank of Ghana, an amount of about 4.3 billion pounds is such a huge amount of money for a small country like Ghana, which refuses to make account for this amount of money. And so this is why I read the declaration, obviously, as part of the US Constitution, the declaration that has been made in there of what governance is and their duties to the people and to the state. It may appear that this document may come in two parts. So the second part is the population, political terrain, which talks about the party, and it mentions the name Kennedy Agyapong. Samuel Ewuku is mentioned here. John Buedu is mentioned here. The Rawlins factor, other minor parties. Then it talks about religion and chieftaincy. And I can see here there's a mention of a name, Bishop Charles Ajin Asari, Sam Kranche Ankra, Pastor Mensa Otabel, National Chief Imam. Then the next part talks about the national situation as regards, and then it says the media landscape. Okay, so basically going through this document, it will be down to the audience to make up their mind if this document is indeed an authenticated document, or it's an authentic document, or if it's a fake. The contents will reveal itself. So it starts and it says, to our future, made of the present and the unborn, of whom this nation is being prepared. To our foremost kin of Urupeni, the progenies spread across this world, for whom and to whom alone this sacred document is prepared. So there are a few errors in the way that is been written, but I will do my best to read it to make it make sense. As the hair of Nana Epienim Kwaframa, Nana Kuntunkununku, and Oforipeni, our people were never defeated in the wars of old. We were nobody's subject, yet after 1957, we were made to live in the shadow of the descendants of the people who never defeated us in war, while the Ashanti Kingdom was uplifted to put us in the shade. In relatively recent times, the struggle and work of 1.8 Dankwa to restore Achimman to its original glory were thwarted but he fought bravely to the end. With the arrival of Nana, being Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, we see the rebirth of a second JB Dankwa, who has come to the rescue, fully cognizant that we are currently part of the modern nation of Ghana, the name of which was originally proposed by the illustrious son of Oforipeni and Fi of Ochiman, LB JB Dankwa, and aware that it is currently made up of other diverse people, we have to assert our old selves and ensure that we no longer continue to live in the shadow of other kings and people whose forebearers we defeated in war. So this is basically the Achim.
Mamenka wokakra. Emre bi atwe mo mote se eye owura eye former finance minister Osafo Mafo ebe meki utterances bi etia asantefo Emma etia otumfo Emma omuka so omuhia no eye ahemfie aha ejina book we sunti document we sunti ana saa utterances no eye ya osafomafo eye because they know say they are propagating their own agenda to make sure that they will capture a friend is not only just political power but also have financial control what you say of the country Ghana. It is any who no nkofo we no omu free akonye mu kura no a they are billionaires. And them say enra me hu say abrantie bi aba abonten a oye video bi a woka say UK obi disikaba from last 2 weeks as 3 weeks ago na me can say obi disikaba UK every or disikaba UK constant £1 million ye de ba be go ha oti ase constant nya afi na am say anan the video ba ku bi a oye sisi o a friend is Alaji Sorogo any station and oye program and he was talking about it. These are informations I sebio amanfo bebre no ano mo amunim dada yento ankomo ne so
idea or ideology to basically assert themselves as the more superior group of people in Ghana. And obviously the name Ghana was given to Ghana by Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, not
on said they painted a picture, said the name Ghana no a JB Dankwa and they did the name Ghana by. But in 1957, the 6th of March, Ote se Kwame Nkrumah edi Ghana ho enkomo. JB Dankwa enko for no any Ochiman mono. They were against Ghana gaining independence. And the reason why in Tia, not they were against Ghana's independence, they said they were in a friend is saying good standing with Akwesi Broni at that particular time. They were the fifth column of Ghana, a fifth column. I just said Obia what on the man for. And Womoti in somewhere air coswa. No more dreamika, no the Baba country or by him and at that time and what test one just to gain favor in the eyes of Akwesi Broni. And that was what they were doing. It where Kwame Nkrumah decided say independence now no. Obviously no anya womo de because they know says independence now they are. Then there is going to be a shake up of that authority no. That respect no. And I gave you that instant of a year Bible mu already a friend of King Saul and David. King Saul was using Goliath to what a friend is saying to his advantage over his own people. King Saul, Bible, you know, now Oyusu Goliath not to his advantage against his own people. Me can say, Ninchile Moon say, King Saul, no one to be a year Goliath. It's the Goliath air banesoa. No, we Jania catch any man for say, shall say, mon support me, mon wame, na me kum Goliath, Eddie Amamo. And Emra David Bayer will be kum Goliath, no, and ye King Saul there. What you say? Obi no so person will come Goliath no. And there because what is he going to talk about again? What was he going to tell his people again? Ni man for him for boni ni die money be. E boni ni die ne be kwa ama David. And intina na King Saul person will come David no. What you say? In this case no, not JB dan kwa no. Womo de eji fancy free abrofo no. Oh, they were the academicians. He was a lawyer, or you this, or you this, or you that. And the Kwame Nkrumah, Sebio buy. And we said, no, go for away, mono. Woman, you su Ghana, and they jeep woman samba. Because I think Ghana quite independence long time. Because Ghana, every signing a friend is saying the 18th for a friend is saying is signing Aboriginal rights, no, every year, you know, at that particular time. Now, bro, for share your boss or Jacob was in say time. And so woman call 100 years, woman call. And we said that be and then I still amotia. We need to I say a G independent. The Kwame Nkrumah jina a yet document obroni no ankasa sign ase e share boss say e mere we do e be free mu krom. E mere ne pa ho a wo free ye kro nim. Lawyers na no mo die ano no a wo nim no kra ne sa JB dan kwa mo ne sa ebusua no. And it's ebusua kept that particular secret away from Ghana. The Kwame Nkrumah knew sa secret, then and so or call for a year referendum. calling for independence, calling for a friend is saying independence now. Into Queen Elizabeth, within a baby chrono. At that time, our year and I just saw my independence. JB Dankwa wrote a letter to her saying, Emma Womo Sebu independence, no more song independence, no. So how comes that this person is saying, well, no moment na, or yet a friend is saying, Agyapade, there be onya Agyapade, or you Osia Quine. Son of my from the days of old. When we the reason why Africa young quiet because Nippon was G independent on the sub-Sahara, no what the entire G independence nase. And he knew where he was taking the country to. But without Obronino, they cannot do anything. Menka Sebi, obviously, no Kwame Kuma was a Messiah, there be yes,
JB Dangwa, so that needs to be corrected. In spite, it seems that this will be in spite of our tremendous contribution to this Ghana entity. Ochiman has not been credited with the appropriate awe and grandeur that we rightly deserve in recent times. Currently,
so you understand why Akufo-Addo ye new maybe tia o man Ghana no assembly to Ghana ni no on fan say bio eye yawasem nti December 2020 ye kukum nkofo Akufo-Addo ebesi ne onya announcement George Floyd will be man so Akufo-Addo ye Ghana ni no what krum ho no Akufo-Addo doesn't care about you. What you see? Because to them, you know, Ghanaians, we owe them to them, you know. We owe them. We owe our lives to them. I have to return your call. Yesterday, self, I said it. Me.
with Nana in total control, being Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo of the whole entity of Ghana, we have a duty to ensure that we take over the commanding heights of the essential fabric of the country in order that even in the event that Nana, being Nana Adodankwa, leaves after mandatory 8 years, the sons and daughters of Ochiman will be firmly secured and such control, both financially and economically, that we can no longer be ignored in the battle to control the destiny of Ghana.
So you see, they are not talking about we Ghana making the country better. They are talking about securing the sons and daughters of Ochiman. They are talking about securing the sons and daughters of a friend saying, Oforipenyi, Amwetia Oforipenyi. They are not talking about the destiny of Ghana. How are Ghana no be yama yinyina? How are Ghana ni be yama inzimenino? How are Ghana ni be ye ama enkranino? How are Ghana ni be Ghana be yama infantinino? They will free Gonja, they will free Aye Aigbe, they will free Asante, they will free a friend say Bunkpurgu Yoyo. And ya no more junior. How are Ghana no? Woman no ebusua ne be DGA aye no ma control Ghana no and wo mudi ho nkwa.
So once again, here you are where the Bank of Ghana is unable to account for 4.3 billion pounds. It's not cedis. This is
Eti almost say Bank of Ghana sika wo muntimi account for 4.3 billion pounds. And already I told you, Obi will follow Dr. Rembiano. What I said, Mika said, MPP, you will billionaires. MPP, you will billionaires. And it deliberately, they are crippling the country and they are becoming richer. And they got all these things planned. They want to be like the Rothschild family. They want to be like the Johnson and Johnson graduates. So, one person the final say. One can say yenda yebeda because they have the finances. Then they want to control the ECG, electricity. They want to control water. They want to control our natural resources, our gold, our diamond, our oil, our gas. And you know, but they control the companies. They control the pharmaceuticals. They control a friend is saying, the lithium industry. They are not thinking about Jane or Mino. And anything I say, Akosombo Dam, no, a funny power, a yesebu, Fraumantenwa, they will go there and disrespect them with impunity. So what you say? And anything as I say me too, near Kotuaba and Fawamo, they don't care. Because they themselves, they know, say they want to cripple us. They want to make us slaves. They want us to suffer. So everything that we are going through today, you know, they are happy. Yes.
Pounds, and we see this kind of writing where a group of people come into Ghana, and it appears from this document that there is that intention, or that the intent to basically take economic and political control of Ghana. To achieve, we need to appropriate the fundamental economic and financial levers which will guarantee such control in years to come.
And what would the Kudientia free Abemu 1966, 1969, no? Woman still became relevant in our politics. So what I say? What I say? Emra woman free Akunyaso 1969. A kufuado mo papa, emra no mo Abemu no. Omo ye aliens compliance law. Agyapade ya wo for de no omo gye. Egye Ghana for de ka ho. And this is the bia me kan na ma refer say Akufuado fie no watim woni ma fie no ye ne papa de ano. Na ye alatani a ye businessman that time ne dia. So and omo gye ye. Omo gye Ghana Agyapade do ko eye North Ridge wa. Agyapade asalam down adabraka. And omo betna brochire. And omo tumi say sika ne bi go into a business is being obviously they are not dumb. What you say? And Temreni do, you know, a Kufuado and go had to fight from the code. What you say? This is the people. This is the reason why we had to face the country to create awareness to people. Said the people you see them, they are not who they say they are. So you see everything. If he or she is aware what is going on around them, they will wake up. They will stand up and demand the fair share of the national cake. Oil and gas, they came to my village, my town, Enzema, demanding 20,000 acres of land from my chief. From the chiefs. These people are thieves, criminals. These people are the devils. Who is a devil? A devil is somebody who steals your joy. When you hear devil, when we say someone is a devil or a demon, it means the person is stealing your joy. What these people are doing is that they have stolen our joy. Appropriating everything to themselves. Into the position of the ama Ken Oforiata. Was on the finance minister, and then the finance minister external. Whoa, IMF Sikano and Casahon and need that. World Bank Sikana, one and need DH, until say World Bank, Parliament are passing a friend is saying, Omaji loan be over 300 and something million US dollars. One day, you would in a quadje, Pancasa, near J Mensa, Philida Manfo, LC, Yedimudina quadje, Elizabeth Quayson, Yedudina quadje, I drop from Paul, my Dudina quadje, Godwin or say, James Kojo, Jikanza, Yedimudina quadje, Ivy, Yedudina quadje, Yankonka Kasa Kufuadu also, Yakokasa Ghana owes. Ghana is owing so and so. Yanko can't say a Kufuado Nedika, what do we deem a quadji? The people are wicked. The people are enemy of progress. What do you say? And now Jessica Wayne and I'm saying they have an agenda to make themselves great and mighty. You don't see the things. COVID-19 by no omukọ alata ekofa Akufuado na kontafo ana wo be jig ombe ye company abra na Noguchi Memorial Noguchi Hospital wo abra na Ghana Health wo amene pass on the no o dachi utina no anu no a tiemie omu wie no omu fa chire no omu no omu ko chesi kan nice COVID-19 by ya yenye sika bebre no womo si Ghana aboka ye kwere ya Ghana sika enya ye owo no ya latani ni nye sika mo otiasi. This is what is going on. Eti Agyapade series 2 no tie nakom yankom yanto aso.
In doing this, we need to be strategic. We will have to work with other people from some of the diverse ethnic groups, including some carefully selected people in Asante and other diverse entities or lands. This will make them, this is difficult to read. This will make them, I'm not quite sure what is written here, that they also, well, this will make them feel that they also have had hand in the pie. It will obscure any suspicion that the project is essentially an Ofori-Penny project.
Enti wuti ye be so da fa nkofo bi kakra akra bi abekata ye aba bata ye ho ye do ebe bata ye ho a kan be kanzima ye do bata ye ho a sa nkofo no man nkofo ni be ye se we die ye Ofori-Penny project na emoma ye oman project omu ye smart evil way the serpent what you say deceiver. And ya dwene mu de womo boa yen womo chichiri kuro no womo chichiri woman no da bi womo chichiri Ofori-Penny afie womo chichiri womo botom womo position womo ho to take over Ghana.
This point is crucial because with electoral politics, we have to have our eye on the numbers in the electoral process. We cannot be blatant until we are completely secure in the endeavor. It is especially so because so far the Asantes constitute the single most populous ethnic group in the country. Although the Asante group within the current NPP is gearing itself up to take over the party after Nana's tenure in 2024. It will be ideal if we could work to bypass them in 2024. With hard work, we could work to pass the mantle over to a non-account person, preferably from the north, under whose presidency we could secure the majority of our takeover project. And so we also see the coming out of Alan Shematin, who was obviously a political heavyweight within the NPP, withdrawing from the party.
The almost say Dr. Baumia, a friend said the flag bearer. Alan Kojo chairman to Iden with Johnny, with free, where is every party in thought as a Bibia Womo Kabian, that is why Emma a document we authentic, Emma document we a more real. What you say?
And then you see the basically the total support behind Baumia, Dr. Baumia. And so this document is written in 2020. Is it a plan or is it just a coincidence that the NPP currently have their full support behind Baumia? So, as I said, you are going to determine how you want to take this document. When we have finally captured the command and control sectors of the country for our
this one book we know the amended the amended one no normal amendments no me from the 2017-18 no and 2020 deal with the 2020 the book need a go for no o matena you and no madwene you no matro book na ngasa
private use. We will then be in a better position to wield the necessary political and economic muscle to manage the destiny of this country and wherein of the houses of Ofori Penny. To be specific, we need to
the ayenas will be to our Oma is so smart to say Oma yi asante for adwene free so say womu achimfo na time womu ana omo de Kwame Nkrumah be si wo say Kwame Nkrumah na empe asante for asem, but really and truly no Kwame Nkrumah was the one and who pep asante for asem. What you say? Kwame Nkrumah no the person no intina Kwame Nkrumah amemu no there are a lot of Ashantis na eka Kwame Nkrumah. Kwame Nkrumah amemu no obu ye no what the womu aye asante Gans, Evers, Nordness, dodoɔ no na ebu yɛ achimfo no amfa wɔ ɔmo dodoɔ. So what you say? But you know, ɔmo ma na yɛ sɛ Kwame Nkrumah deɛ na wɔtan asantefo ɛna ato asantefo no bi tirim te sɛ deɛ na ɔmo ka sɛ big six. Ɔmo na yɛ big six no. In reality no big six no ɛyɛ ɔmo a ɔmo no ɔmo sɛ Kwame Nkrumah no ɔmo gyina ɛyɛ a friend sɛ podium no so a na ɔ declare sɛ at long last the battle has ended no. Satan, devil, demon.
Strengthen our effort to control the mineral resources as well as the electricity and water institution.
No crap, they want Ghana
the success of this project depends on the way in which we, for the first time, being in control maybe it means being in control of the judiciary and the press. We conclude with a word of caution. Until we have secured the critical sector under our control, we will minimize the danger of obvious acts of individual corruption. In order not to alienate the rest of the population, we must focus on the ultimate goal. We must seek first the economic and financial levers, and all other may follow eventually. So this, it appears to be the plan. But to go forward, I will once again read the extract from the from the US Constitution, upon which the Ghana Constitution is based. Just to so once again, the extract in the US Constitution, which was written in 1787, after the Declaration of Independence in 4th July 1776, says, "We hold to these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equally, that they are endowed by their creator life,
we are all created equally in Ghana,
certain
but
unalienable rights, that amongst these life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted amongst men, deriving their power,
trying to run Ghana as a monarch,
deriving their power
that is true,
from the consent of the governed, that is being the people, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such forms as to them shall seem most likely to effect it."
Akufo-Addo polluted the mind of Ohinia Asante anyway. Opolutu Nadwini for years. Akufo-Addo Emra Ken Opoku Otumfo Opoku Aretiso. It was obvious to say Owua why ne bedi na adie. So Akufo-Addo knew the person as a Otumfo Opoku Areniwa obedi na adie. And to obey Sani Pakone be ye na damfo. Enti a friend is saying Nanajiman ano Wukumasi. Anna a friend is saying Kwakudia. They were not a Akufo-Addo the close friends anyone because when him say Anya Opoku Ariwa ebeye we ne bedia de ana we ne bedia de. Enti they use their a friend is an influence no to pollute their minds. And when we G woman didn't free one crass a woman at time woman. It your was Akufo-Addo's friend. Ewo UK. Pa, papa become your friend Nana a friend Nyantechi. And Nyantechi a former GFA boss president to know. So just here. So today you see what Akufo-Addo my. Free so I'll put my presidency on the line to solve Galamsey. Obwa is the Galamsey. All the mining companies, no, they have percentages. Insurance side, they don't care. Tell me, if American president tell you say he's putting his line on a job, somebody will go behind. Tell me, even African president, most of them are very dictatorial. Omukase we no ya sa no be no. Now the panel say, I'm putting my job on the line. If this does not stop her, we are sure say obi betumi akfa echi akwa ye. No, I just ni pa krono angasa na yes ade no. Enti Akufo-Addo no, wo mo na yes ade no. Enti because champagne na eba no, wo mo na ema champagne na free China aba. No mu yom de ama mreku duka no de akotena western region. No ma je Galamsey no. That is why I have said to you on many occasions that the president is a man without character. What you say? He is a man without character. Because if our character, sebio, was here so yo, but was here on yo, he is the opposite. His words, his deeds, his action are never in tandem. That is why I always and I'll continuously saying it. Say our president is a man without character.
Yes, safety and happiness. And so once again, if this document is factual, then it seems that that intent of securing national resources for the interest of a family is definitely in contravention with this declaration upon which the Ghana Constitution is based on.
And based
So
on this document, based on this document, yeah, your mind be accept you, the military, your mind be accept you, the police system, they need to interrogate this document and ask questions and find the reason why a document we were not and maybe what document no a play to our very own eyes. Air happen. We wouldn't say the thing is what happening. What do you say?
And so it appears that this signature appears to be something that says Ofori Atta. So
and the book and the document in the Ofori Atta sign, which signatures the woman on one sign.
This document is. So sector control. This is the second part, and it says Ofori Penny. So it could also be that signature may also be a signature of Ofori Penny. So I'm going to go back again to have a second look. This. Okay, this definitely Ofori Atta. That actually definitely does say Ofori Atta. Okay, so this is the sector control. The economy and power and financial economic control are, okay, so I'll try again. The economy and power and financial economic control are inextricably systems constitute the nerve of linked every in-country such. Okay, so this, as you can see, has not been written out properly, but we'll try to make some sense of it. That any group that controls economic might of, that any group that controls the economic might of a nation essentially controls its political power. At the same time, political power is virtually a condition precedent to economic and financial power in our country and Africa as a whole. Our agenda or political dominance will hinge on our financial might. So is it a coincidence that 60 billion or the governor of Bank of Ghana, Dr. Addison, is unable to account for 60 billion new Ghana cedi, which is equivalent to about 5 billion US dollars or 4.3 billion British pounds.
Even the Bank of Ghana cannot, tell us the Omodi FRN say 5 billion US dollars. Yet now the IMF loan. The country is not broke. Sikani wo kroni. What do you say? The country is not broke. And Kofono akuwie sikano. The money won't kofu we go to. San Kofono in a year, sir, a kufuado, Ofori Atta, or Chehine, or Mabutiano, or Munescan warm. What do you say?
So it goes on to say our agenda or political dominance will hinge on our financial might. We therefore need overwhelming control of the key economic growth pillars of Ghana. Such dominance will assure significant inflow of resources to finance our political blueprint. Again, control of key economic and financial sectors will give unparalleled leverage in the periods we may have not, in the period we may not have direct political authority. With economic power, we could manipulate the system to generate an unfavorable economic situation enough to make any government of the day not directly under our control become unpopular. The importance of a significant, large, and stable financial firepower.
Jikanza said, listen to
On
what
finance, tie
people do, not what
execution
people
of
say. That is
our
true.
political and economic control projects cannot be overemphasized. And so there are a few errors in this document, but from what we can make of it is basically trying to say that when you have the financial power, then you will have the control over the economy and you can actually manipulate a situation. And so it appears that the Akufo-Addo administration is not actually acting in the best interest of the nation that actually put him in that position. And so then accountability is actually required of his leadership.
Yeah, and said this year, the freedom fighters, they say a year of what? Accountability.
Right, so we go on to phase 2. That's the overview. The first phase of the economic and financial sector control was to be implemented in Nana's first term of office.
So you see why
as we get closer to the end of the first term.
So the document, one was for the first term, and this is the second term one. So the first term one, and Dr. Indum, and I'm not sure I got to know of this particular a friend is a Agyapade3, because at that time I was working for Dr. Indum. I used to do some 1 or 2 things for him here in the UK because he has some businesses for her. I mean, he needed a services, so that Yabuano. And he assembly told no. Then he had the document we buy. Then we're like, oh, okay, now we understand.
We have set the ball rolling regarding the objectives set out in our first document. There have been objectives set out in our first document. So it appears that there may have been a first document.
So there was a first document already.
There have been difficulties largely due to some pitfalls on our part. For example, the control of electricity sector could have been handled better.
That was the PDS.
Had it not been for the greed of some of the non-action elites we had included our cover. We had included in our cover
every
maybe
month
that is what is supposed to mean.
Again,
the way some CSOS
every month
obtain vital information is easily about the
month.
Awapa project has resulted in them wrong-footing us and emboldened the opposition to jump into the fray. We should, however, find some ingenious way to overcome the opposition.
You see the reason why. You see the reason why you're moving on. You're home campaigning ma NDC because they are not serious. Document way 2018. We passed on this particular document. Dr. Indum himself gave it to NDC for this document for them to study, the first one, and to act appropriately on this first document. If they were smart and they acted appropriately, like we will not be here today. Second document, are they acting appropriately? I doubt, because I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. Yes. And exactly what they are doing, they are making sure that they will break the 8. Don't think it's a joke. We see last week Monday, I did a program with Osofu Chabosun. He told me everything. Kona koshe video nibi, and you understand. What do you say? You understand? Kind of different points, bro. We heard about this thing in 2016. That's what I'm saying. But we thought it was a propaganda. No, it's not propaganda. Dr. Indumi himself. You see? Because that attitude, oh, after 8 years, Ghanaians will go and vote for us. Hey, 2020, NDC won the election, but yet the pharmacy quietly, the entire NDC could not bring document to prove say we NDC were thinking, say, about they got the numbers from their side. No, MPP did not touch NDC numbers. So they touched opposition numbers. The opposition party to say, gum no. The number, baby, or yes, we 300, no man, no man 30, no man for 2017, no man. That is the reason why ask yourself, say, till date, do you know the exact numbers are Akufo-Addo winning election 2020? Do you know? You don't. Because the first number declare Akufo-Addo as president. What do you say? The first abattoir. Declaration no Akufo-Addo win. Actually, the numbers kept what? Changing. The numbers kept changing. So when you go to Rainbow Radio, we just go on Facebook, not type Rainbow Radio. Dr. Ren interviews Osofu Chabosun. It will come. Everything he is telling you, the account fashion. And this is what they are going to do this same year. What? They are now way from. Already they know where they are going to get their numbers. So they know. They know already. Already we travel 1.5 million at Ashanti region. 1.5, 1.8, 2 million we try to Ashanti region. When you say Ashanti region, 2 million. And so any Ashanti region for no person a koto abama no there be our numbers ne data. Yen to abano, but our numbers, some numbers to nye free. Easy be printed. The amount of for no mangasa. That is why they anytime be and you say any easy na ese mo mama ni brain so election no election no Papa Odinka no ye electoral officer ebe ka kire say elections are won at the polling station. Enti wu no the James and ekokota you are mistaken. A polling station one you are protecting your numbers so. But nobody is protecting or soft which are some numbers because bear in mind, they say those small parties no. Woman to me all the numbers no. A polling agent or officers no in all the polling stations. Into who show what the so NDC no. Making sure say Ubefa will be extra person or no special other smaller parties no so. Senior, when you get yourself covered, you also get those ones covered. Into no, or soft chabos mahadi and wunya 300. In the catch of particulars nebra, pink sheet nebra. Who pink sheet ne a friend is a opposition for the answer. Who the baba say we wunya position wunya send wunya a ban send ye need yes to come MPP for the and yes, sir. They will still inside and tell you go to court. Court, no? Then call for a tip bench one a chair. What you say? TME. Obi say, I don't know the relevance of Ghana military. You are making a mistake because Ghana military is a partisan military. You will not see their relevance because it has become a partisan military. Many of the people I know, Ghana military, most of them, they are the people military, so they owe allegiance to them. Unless they come to their conscience and say, no, even though you were the one, I owe allegiance to you. No, my greater allegiance is to the country. Ghana, you bet me, is Niaji was a doc. Advise me. Advise me. Niaji question we say. I'm say free. I said, advise me with all these monies at their disposal. How do we get rid of these crazy rascals? Listen, we can only get rid of these people with vigilance. 2024 election, we know. The reason why I made Dr. Ray and I started Third Force and people never got the understanding of it. Because you see, opposition party, let them know that there's another opposition party monitoring them to act so that they can be serious. Not only the opposition, but also to the ruling party. Into ruling party, now we opposition, so you are getting that now we are serious opposition, so that the opposition party will also be serious. So we jai now focus on only the party in power now. The opposition will become more reluctant to say, oh, you won't conform with and that is what I see NDC. And that is why John Mahama can't 24-hour economy. No. Look at the people of Moko TV, so could echo cancer John Mahama. You bought audio, you will cry. People who don't even have the understanding of the 24-hour economy. Akwatna a PSF as a neat TV, as a OKFM, and people are using the video to laugh at them. Why are you not using your men who are intellectually sound? And now MPP started so one more friend Bawumia, Mr. Digitalization. I said, what is NDC doing? What are they waiting for? Why are you people not getting Yaira Kwaku on TVs, on radio stations to talk on digitalization? Because he know the truth when it comes to digitalization. Now you German kofobi no mkono got na TV room. Now you can their phones say Mr. Bawumia the digitalization man. The people that knows the truth, them, they are waiting for NDC to win power and they come occupy positions. What you say? These are the things. And before you realize, no, you are too about the and this we are winning. Omube we can't just go to court. And this is the thing that you have to understand. Now, I'm not here to speak for NDC because I'm not their spokesperson. In
the leadership of most supervisory institutions, particularly the Central Bank and Security and Exchange Commission, has allowed for other blueprints to be implemented. For example, the financial sector clean-up successfully eliminated most banks with hostile ownership.
When the banking cleanup exercise came, I challenged a friend and said, "Can Kennedy accompany Japan?" And I wrote many articles. And I said, Ghanaians should not take Kennedy accompany Japan seriously on a stance on the banking cleanup exercise, defending the Akufo-Addo. Because he's defending Akufo-Addo, not with what? Knowledge. He was naive. He thought the banking cleanup exercise was the best, but no. The saving capacity of the country, and the banking loaning to their citizens, and the makro. That is why the Rothschild family, the Germans, US, are powerful. Because they were dealing in coins and some ever paper. And it's a chrono, A man for never criminal. Or to for music and call banker. People cannot go, people will not be able to get money to what? Borrow. And you have Ghanaians building companies, building banks. Then you come and you collapse it. Instead of supporting and helping them. They said that Mahama yet with the pharmaceuticals, you know. And they yenkokra paracetamol wa mana ne ye bi wo Ghana to bi nkomu any SNS chemist mo e manufacture into the same way. Wo buy you know, the banking cleanup no e ye what time abroni beye propagating the agenda of Achim, thinking say Ghana no e say ye hwa or chingene ediane ko head palace bia wo musi ko head we o maya o chimai krom many some, but I'm trying to let you understand they came for their own to be prosperous, have economical dominance, and even if they are dead and gone, their children will take up the story. And until 1969 but they were relevant till date. I continue. So what you see? That is why I keep saying, say kutu a champon. Rollins bonitua. Because say Rollins so a corrupter. Then a kufu adomodi. Ediana, I say I'm not supporting any violence. But besides, Ediana, I said that is the reason why I'm moving a banner ye video no. Me shut down bo NDC fuachi. Wa wo ba be di matem na careless. We NDC ni no. Because me say me bo machi it goes to some quarters. Do you think Akufo-Addo in opposition was joking? I told you, sir, the reason why MPP was formed was because of Rollins. Yes. Today, where is Rollins? Today, where is Rollins? Who became 2024 without your loving man, Rollins? Today, only every voter region ever. People have sat down and propagating an agenda from voter region. So votarians are saying, it's 24 years, woman a leader from NDC, NDC ma leader bia, NDC ma vice president bia. I told you people, I got problem here in London in 2020 election. They made the police come after me when I was working on maybe court air. Yes. Here in London. I almost say I'm pushing voter region in some fumbi and papa kokrebi no. Almost say me na me pushy. Me use me medium, you know. Yes. So sometimes who know there, who know. That is why recently, when Mahama was calling for state of emergency, quickly I had to call people who were closer to me and said, no, advise your uncle. Tell him it's wrong. He's giving missile. He's giving the baton for Akufo-Addo to act. And I explained it to them. And I explained it to another man who was once upon a time here with us in UK. Oko ye kra de wonimi ye. MDC ba power no onimi ye. NDC co opposition so ahomaso. And I explained to him. The didn't sebi. I said what the man is doing if he's saying state of emergency, per the constitution, the state of emergency must be declared by the president. It is only the president that can also say this particular area is no more what a state of emergency. We use state of emergency then so just like declaring curfew. What you say? It's the moment Abeka only declare state of emergency because you think that Voltaireans are going through a lot until you need a friend is saying aid kakra ifram anonenia the ama woman. No, the people have the money, push them to bring the money. So when you see this particular MPP we know, enya kofomo MPP no, enya edubuaimo MPP no, achimfo na capture MPP no. What you say? And making sure that they will do more harm to the nation. So that is the reason why you need to understand. The kudientia yemubino eye face the country. Mami from paying for sisters in paying for but joining LCMO. She has her own money or what the BBD, she has no issue and no problem. People here, people, there are a lot of people here, they do, but they realize that Ghana no amount for burning for be a capture crew, a traffic bomb, they realize, they know. How can we lose almost 5 billion US dollars? Where your baby back home? COVID-19 is come by. You see, Diamond Yankupon Azan 419. You said Yakubu judges dying, Yakubu, a friend is saying, a passport office, Yakubu embassies. So you have to understand. And the Uko mining sector, woman a gum, Uko bauxite, woman go, Uko lithium, woman go. Mimi Chrome, they wanted to take oil and gas. Enzima, and you say here and here. Baby, oil and gas no one almost see fast as anymore 20,000 acres. Now buying this what the baba yem puntunjuma. What but damn. Impuntunjuma benya unchiremu. Company ben out de ba. Only another montrans na kachre ya unchiremu. Company ben ye here 20,000 acres and san wababi si factory. Ateng. Eh? These are the people implementing their document. Obi say in America, the former president talks about issues and call on president to declare state of emergency of Ohio State. So I don't see anything because what's America? Why be in America? So American policies, the way America, they believe in the rule of law. That is how you think that the Ghana also they believe in rule of law. So you think it's in America if they believe in rule of law, Kufuor believe in rule of law. So Kufuor, you see the mindset of NDC new the mindset said the mindset you are listening and hearing what I am saying to you and you are still thinking say oh okay and yes I know and go and tell him to declare state of emergency say you voters will be allowed to go and vote. Did you not see what happened in 2020 election when your people wanted to come out to vote when they were fast when who soldiers said don't go was even I don't need a declare state of emergency. And imagine if they declare state of emergency. They will tell you, say, Pia Bontin, about 2 o'clock, and one main Pia Bontin be. It's not like America. What do I say? If it was America, and can you move Kasa? If the system is America system, nobody will come here. Stop comparing apples with oranges. Today, Tema oil refinery, and there could be a different refinery. Ghana's refinery, no, I say this is catching mono. And the Akofa China for so could be the sun, dear oil refinery. America, a rule of law. The Kanza Bekacho say in Ghana, we believe in the rule of money. the rule of power. The strong survive. And then we call Ghana, Tema, oil refinery, no. Asa, and to what wa be a winning Sentio, and now to what be a winning. And your man Kosuina is planned. They are behind it. They have captured every important asset of the country. So you think, sir, the Omoye no munim the Omoye. Tomorrow you will see, sir, they will start pushing Freddie Blake. Go and tell the people, the foolish man from Nzima, foolish man, that Freddie Blake. Well, you're a very stupid man, Freddie Blake. When Jimmy Singh will be asking. The Kokasa said, I ponchenisha ni minim. They are going to push him. Go and tell them LGBT. Germany fosi yenti omusi kamfama womo. So these are the things. So at the end of the day, no, I just want you to understand, say, the people, no, a Japan document, no, omo implement it. What do you say? Yentuasu, na infambrary. It's time no. What can we do to save our country?
Other banks that were basically consolidated and taken over by the governor of Bank of Ghana, Dr. Addison. And so it appears that this document seems to be playing along the lines of the events that has been ongoing in Ghana for the past, one should say, since Akufo-Addo took power in 2016. The document, you can actually see that these things are probably not happening by chance, but by plan. And so
this is where I want you to understand. Everything that is going on is not by chance, it's by plan. They've planned it. It is here. No, sir, characters are behind, pushing their own agenda and fulfilling their own interest. What you are saying? It will catch us basic cathedral or bois or nyanyanko pombi no usi amano. A 419 wouldn't be a warrior. What you are saying? But what the a Christopher Becano, what the a GD for Becano, because women say Ghana no 70% a year Christopher. You come by religion and people will come. What you are saying? Today you see the most expensive hole in the whole world. And what Ghana, $500 million already spent. And so just imagine what that $500 million could have done for the Ghanaian. The roads, companies, factories, enterprises, and commitments. What do you say?
Intentional acts must be brought to account. That is, if the document is found to be a matter of truth.
This document, Ghana radio station.
So then we start to mention the bank. So we have Data Bank Financial Services has been playing the role of transaction advisor in major government deals with the enterprise group, is the main insurer of government assets. Our international proxies are also playing their part in accordance with our broad objectives. The insertion of Kelmy GVG into the telecommunication space, and the implementation of Unibars at Ghana's key entry ports are other notable successes of Phase 1.
Phase 1,
the digitalization of payment processing through the implementation of Ghana Quick Response Code is progressing steadily and is getting impetus from the desire of banks to entrench digital banking in response to COVID-19. And so you can see that COVID-19 is actually mentioned in this document, but the document is written in, the document is written in 2020, so COVID-19, that makes sense. Anyway, this is the end of part 1 of this document. It will carry on from our next video. Thank you for watching.
Na wo de wogidi se obeto ama ba wumie bi na ba wumie bi aba ba ye wo bedi na ma wo aba be develop Ghana unua menua be ma utie me menua ba utie me mesre wa enye ba wumie bi ene wo ba be ye bi bibidi ama wo wote ase aha enye ba wumie bi ani hwe bi a obeye de ama wo de wo ba be ye nua ma ni nyina ye na na ado dan kwa ekufu ado wono na eja wo ba beto aso. What they are saying, Obaba betua a friend is sending you maso. What you are saying, Obertuan in you maso. Sending in you masity.
Improve your living standards. If you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe to his content, like, for the benefit of his family and his clan. And that is JB Dangwa, who was also he was a lot. The digitization of payment processes through the implementation of the Ghana Quick Response Code, GHQR, is processing steadily and is getting impetus from the desires of banks to entrench digital banking in response to COVID-19. The Agyapade Royalties Special Purpose Vehicle implementation has been showed by COVID-19, but is one that must be allowed to fail. Notable setbacks occur in the power sector as civil society and the opposition MBC were able to galvanize enough public opinion against the renegotiated Amri deal.
And the Amri deal, no, and I'm say yemu bebre no ade anu tum na NDC for so di woman no tum no. And no, they could not go on to implement the Amri deal. So what you say? You see, many a times, no, the mistakes are opposition and say they yembwa Ghana for no. Oh, yembwa yen. Don't expect to say sa NCC as one wine beba be educate Ghana for when you make course there be omo sha aban ni botom aban na mo musika no dia yo madwuma enti aban no deliberately no ma musika no dia akwa ye adwuma no akwa educating nkofo what they say so you need to understand all these things and it's very, very important.
The Power Distribution Service PDS takeover of the electricity.
PDS no nipa no wotim an wo ditintima wo mpa Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia. What you say? It you no ana na ehwe ama PDS no yaji Ghana for sika unconstitutionally because he am fan ko parliament ana sika na omoji ebesi na ye nfa ma ye nsentua back ma Ghana for say ye didi musika for 6 months. What do you say? Why our journalists, TV and radio presenters not asking questions and not interested in discussing the corrupt practices? Our main problems are the journalists and the media. State capture, state capture, Hamas. You need to understand all these things. These people, no capture most of these radio stations. The radio stations are not a NDC for NDC was Radio Gold. One by collapse no. Two mu jemos, almost some alliances. Mu due to Academy and day two mu. And a jamode Mugab a year Freddy say the Class FM near other one and also Cranwa. Boom pushy match.
Company of Ghana, ECG. The takeover of Kotoka International Airport by the use of management agreement is also one that is facing considerable headwinds from the workers. The lesson learned from these must guide our execution of phase 2 of the economic and financial sector agenda. These are vital assets that we must pursue in phase 2. Our media and public relations wing must strategize to control the public discourse to ensure successful acquisition of these assets.
Why we say a question about journalists for no? It will call Peace FM, or call for, call a friend say, City FM, or call for the last guy when you know, by UK, or school fees. Oko a friend is a Metro TV, or Paul Adomocho, or Mutia the school fees, or Mosheno, or Mamma the car, or Mona Tianis, a Unida Camano, or Mona Buano, eti Oko GBC, or my planting, or mon call for. Sana Aminimun, somebody on call for shame. Sana police services, someone call for shame.
So basically, the Akufo-Addo and Amwetwe for the planning intending to acquire the assets of Ghana through these dubious companies and take over bids. So this is the intention of this document. But be it fact or fiction, it is written in 2020, AD 2020, and it appears that there was another phase, a first phase of this document.
There was a
but the
first phase
content
already.
as
I
we
got to
read
know
it,
the first phase from
and
outside.
you think about the events that has been unfolding in Ghana, is this a coincidence or is this a
It's
plan?
never a coincidence.
This, we leave that to the audience
It's not a
and the
coincidence.
viewers to make up their minds
Viewers,
as they
is it
go through this
coincidence?
document. Phase 2. This stage is scheduled to commence from January 2021, given the high likelihood of Ghanaians giving Nana another term to govern this country. This phase will consolidate the gains made in the banking, insurance, and capital markets, financial services sector.
It would be what one our trend say a banking sector near better to new may anyway. Woman say a gains to them. You good Ghana for banks. Some say a gains to them. These people are wicked. You good Ghana for banks. People have died. They say it's gains. How can people be so wicked and evil? What collapse will be banko, will be near Jumania, will be Tiffy, will be on poison, will be go what the car or G loan. You collapse a bank in Tinisika 79 basa. If you kunkum woman, they are saying it is gains to them. That is why I tell you, say, these people are demon, they are devil, they steal your joy. So what you say in any form of life, if anybody steals your joy, that person is a demon. Be careful of people like that. Money free the Camelot, uphold and defend the good name of Ghana. So help me God. Today nobody wants to defend the good name of Ghana. The military is not defending the good name of Ghana. If you're China for if you're Galam say yes you. Meanwhile, they took an oath to protect us by air, by land, by water bodies to the peril of their lives. Yes, say you. That's so Jenny Tibak Baras or Chati. Can you go to America and go and destroy their water body? Yeah, mining in America. I have people think they said they don't any mining companies for America. They've been mining there. There were mining companies 100 years for America. Nevada, mining companies for Canada, mining companies for and say you. TME. These are the things you need to understand. Deliberately, they are impoverishing our people to enrich themselves. They want to become like the Rothschild, Germans from America.
To also see to the taking of significant stakes in mining and oil and gas, telecommunication, as well as marine and aviation,
if it looks like
the areas of general manufacturing and commerce, which was not part of phase 1, has been introduced here. Banking, insurance, and capital markets, financial services sector control of this vital area will need to be expanded from a 2-tier system to 3-tier. Consequently, the strategies to deploy in each of the sub-sectors will be along the lines of mother. So mother being Agyapade3, supervisory in brackets, biological, that is children, direct control, and adopted children, indirect control. So these are the code words that are being used to indicate the position of the players within the controls of this document. So they call one the mother, which I interpret as the Nana Agyapade3, who is always going to be there. Then the biological children most likely will be the current president, Nana Addo.
The biological children, Yekumbaku, JB Dankwa, Yekuno. These people are wicked. Oh. Look, Minkabo Watashi Amenja Ghana. Minumi Yatna ho. Yeche Ghana ni yeche Ivy yeche we yeche ni eje mensa yeche Henry Chemfi say yeche nobu yeche Ghana no. My Ghana no will be che. Watch the amount. I'm waiting for repaying no one who ye taxi driver. I mean, cars or a taxi driver ebony. But people sweat. Or no be fair Agyapade. Look, I won't lie you. Me minimum money be tna classroom. Me omoma be tna classroom. And I would not lie. Somewhere my classmates, even me junior, look, their level don't change. Their levels don't change, even here in UK. It's easy for them to drive Rolls Royce and Bugatti and Lamborghini. It's easy. These were people who are not maybe a train to even feed themselves. They are making it just a material. But the any material, no properties, companies. Look, me no properties. So money is meant to build roads in our country. La hospital, you bugu money is meant to build la hospital. Eshobi bottom. And mempin yela. Mempin yeteshi kenunga kenine fe. People are suffering. Go to my village and see in Zima. I started this small food. 20th March is my birthday. 20th March is my birthday. I started this small free food food bank. Hey, I thought to say, yeah, it is a small amount of people being they will come. Hey. And your money at the Kogu shop, no money in Asa. And your money, people genuinely are going through a lot. You Jimmy das. Genuinely, people are going through a lot. So let's be that. Go and see. Meanwhile, Sikanwa, I say, ye did be companies, Ebia Kubangwa factory, Ewanzma, Yembie, no binye. Share butter factory, Yembie, no binye. tomato factory yembie no obinya saa na abrochire tie enu ntini ya maame no mo ni ma kenkan no omutumi ba UK ko France ko Germany ko Italy omuko US omutumi nya aprapra ye ya omutumi de bi to Agyapade sisi dan e wo Ghana kronim. Melasi JB was not conforming, dancing to their tune. True. Look, their hearts are dirty. That is why I started saying that they are anytime my boss papa no video nature, they are demons. People are suffering. I'm saying they made gains. They made gains with the banking sector. They made gains. Ghana need to or try say I didn't see Kamemano. Yentia Dr. Indumuka. That comedy, a friend is saying, a Juma Dr. Indumi, yeah, a binding him says would Trianecano. When Trian was collapsing the business, basing a binding the Dr. Indumka. And so was Wuntia. Millions of dollars was Wuntia. A B or what Dr. Indumi see defense. Evalua Edra. A B or what construction companies. A boy or Ghana funny people see. About these people are wicked.
Kufuado and Ken Uforiata and the lot and the adopted children could be indicating Dr. Bawumia. We don't know.
Francis, answer no. They will control Bawumia.
Control of the mother is essential to control the industry. So far, the head of the mother and his first deputy are strongly aligned to our cause. They are from our compound and we perceive no threat from these two. The second deputy appears the gender advocate and is also not a source of discomfort. In this way, there is no need for changes in those plans. It is, however, noted that the head is likely to reach retirement age before the end of phase 2. And so this document is now turned into some sort of coding, but I can only assume that if they talk about the head, it's probably the president who is going to appears to go to retirement before the end of phase 2. We don't know. In that situation, the first deputy will have to be supported to take over. Replacement of the first deputy in such circumstances will not be promoting the second deputy in the role of the first. Rather, a strong Bawumia loyalist should be appointed to the role to further strengthen the Bawumia political cause. So as you can see, it appears that this is talking about the head of the NPP and obviously the government. So they are saying that Bawumia then comes into power, but then they align him with somebody strong who then builds his image and take over from Bawumia. So this is the plan. But whether
Bawumia be a flag bearer or the Edin John Kumar command the national executive. Said John Kumar Anna Opesa Oyene running mate. Or the Diba Kukaho a duchum. But the Oplesi emphasis was John Kumar. And me na minim dada because me no more John Kumar namno. Edin komo. What you see? Tieweye. John Kumar Alan Kojo boy. Ne allegiance, political allegiance, to Alan Kojo Chremantin. Enti emu bebre na we Akufo Addo mususu say Bawumia fa opese wo fa John Kuma no or betray the trust ana Akufo Addo woni ewoni mu because Alan Kojo Chairman team were opposition there but still John Kuma is supporting no a sponsor no the people are wicked. What did the American say? It Emra Bawumia didn't command neck no. They stood against. Said why this boy? And Bawumia said one, he is young, 45 years, or appealing to the youth. Number two, or a very vibrant. Number three, he is a lawyer, an economist. Into what Tinyomasi. 4, he respects me and is humble. 5, even NDC for the be penasem. MPP for the one also penasem. 6, of the Ashanti region. 7, Otumfo Afanasan Nenana. A boni ni dia oma Otumfo. Ene anyonkofa one eye menhyiafo ahemfo bebree wo. Into na my first video mbeka cho say papa no ware na punch na wi abegina bonten say na punch ayira ni dwan ayira odwan ayira enti John Kuma wuye no obi ba bonten be ye no obeka te sade wo boa wa china ni dwan ahwe na obeka kire Ghana fo say ni dwan na ayira aya bebu ati ase. They want somebody that they can control as the vice president. These people are wicked. Now we'll be omwangasa ho kra chimichim obi na ebu ne kum ne ekum ne din besi ne asem ne ndim ye e court de bia
that this plan will actually materialize. It will be down to Ghanaians to decide that this is in line with protecting the legacy of Nana. This is in line with protecting the legacy of Nana and could enable us to side up and further alienate the Kufuor faction.
So you see today Kufuor are useless. So what the wheelchair? Yeah, useless.
Biological children, these are banks in which we should have controlling interest. The collapse of local banks with ties to the opposition NDC and other rival political factions during the cleanup operation undertaken by the mother was a resounding success. And so I'm still...
So you good Ghana for Ejuma, it's a resounding success. Do bada will know by attacking me. I look at you and I laugh. Brother Kambum Yanya Juman Yashasi face the country, freedom fighters, people were not supporting. It took some of our ladies, our men, who lives in the diaspora, believed in our ideology. The first face the country. I was in Spain. First face the country demonstration. Second one, I was here in UK. Third one, our sisters and brothers in America, freedom fighters, and they organize it. Freedom fighters were the media wing of Face the Country. Near Jamie. Listen, we don't just come here and talk to you because your faces are so handsome and beautiful for us. When we come here, we have a message. That is why we come here. I just come here and I want to give you a message and go. Because Ghana needs you watching me. You think it's only me that Ghana needs? Our mother needs you too. Others suffered the French Revolution to make France great. Huh? Others suffered to make UK great. It's called United Kingdom. It's not one country. Don't mistake it. It's four countries. Four countries put together. Four countries put together. It's United States of America. Others suffered from external forces. But still, they prevailed. They came together and they said, no, we are not going to watch some people capture France. The French Revolution. When we are talking, you are giving us American democracy. You are a joker. That we should use we should take Ghana like America. The people leading us today, they are demonic. They are filled with demon spirits. Yes, they take joy when many Ghanaians are suffering. That is why they are saying it in the book. It was a success, collapsing Ghana Bango. Our brothers and sisters are suffering, but they say it is a joy. It is a success. It is demons that what? Are happy when they see the masses suffer. That is why when I come here, I want to rekindle your patriotism. That is why deliberately I said I'm bringing a third force. Because if I don't do it, who is going to tell you to be patriotic? I don't look into, when it comes to Ghana, into the lenses of political parties. So I stopped doing political parties. I've campaigned for NDC. I've campaigned for MPP. You. When we were campaigning for those political, you were nowhere. This is what we have to come together. It's when the Mahama is talking about 24-hour economy. I said, this man, does he really understand what is going on? Does he really understand his opponent? Does he really know his opponent? Tell the nation your opponent is corrupt. Drum it. Let them know their plans, their intentions, what they have done and what they are doing. Tell them how they are crippling us, how they are taking over our properties for their children. Don't be laughing at us. Don't be making mockery of us. Don't be joking with us. Be serious. When you are going to some constituencies, find out. Don't just talk and make mistakes. Be serious. Let people know you are going to war. Because it is the demon you are facing. You're not facing anybody. You're facing somebody who is the Lucifer himself. He's a pretender. He changed many colors. Chameleon. He tells everybody he's a Pan-Africanist. That is what you know Akufo-Addo to be. Abi? How can a whole Pan-Africanist sit in front of American Secretary General and tell them about Burkina Faso? Conversations are what ECOWAS, something that you have to keep. You come out and you tell Americans. Secret conversations. What called ECOWAS meeting? Then you meet American Secretary General as riffraff, not even the President of America. Then you speak. You allow your old tongue. You wag it. Yet he wants people to believe that he's a Pan-Africanist person. Yet he wants people to believe that he's the Messiah. He wants us to believe. I tell you, people should tell him, tell Ghanaians to vote Akufo-Addo. He's criminal. He's a thief. He's a 419 man. He's corrupt. These are the things. These are the messages. Tell them about the bread and butter issues. Tell them the more they suffer, the more the people become rich. Tell them. Come and tell me as if, say, at the end of the day, you are here with nice policy. That is why Rollins told you, John Mahama, that you are a future president too. You are a future president because your demeanor, your behavior, your character, your ways is for French government, UK government. Yeah. Now when you meet somebody called Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who fought military regimes. Hey, do you know what Akufo-Addo did to Kotu Echampong? TMA, do you know what Akufo-Addo did to Kotu Echampong? Ask, when you meet Otunfo, ask him why he was saying that. Enya mene wunana ene nyantechi anana Echampong etatayen. When he came and he became president, Echampong, the first wafase, dead, poisoned. 2017, after having tea meeting with the people, with them, dead and gone. The man's property and companies in Accra, they're funding you now. That's it. The third force sanitized the year when he said the political landscape. That is it. When you are listening to another out there, to another say those days when I come, my views, my people, plenty. Hit NDC. Then the NDC people were running. They were you sorting. You come and see Kevin Taylor with Tim attempts. I say, look at the people. They don't understand the politics. Obibini, King George, what is saying? Obibini ba. Achimo, Mati. The battle is still the Lord. Papa, know you're 419. I'm sorry, man. Walk on. The battle is the Lord's. Oh, you're 419. I didn't know. A plus Kasebi, I'll see. Papa with me, I'm a papa. No, me, he knows the man. He's a Wagadre man. He's Azan. He's 419. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just steal 10 minutes of your time. Now I am far away in
reading the matter to either be Motio for Penny or the president, because they are talking about cleaning up the banks, which they was done in phase one when Nana took power in 2016. It facilitated the flow of substantial financial resources into our war fund through backflow of some of the advertised clean-up cost. The NBC has been poor in coherently and consistently demanding detailed accountability and audit of the funds spent. The process further leads to the establishment of Consolidated Bank Ghana, CHG, currently a wholly owned government of Ghana Bank, and our proxies are well placed to take controlling interest when the bank is eventually returned to private ownership. So as you can see, there is that intention that all the banks that were consolidated under the leadership of Akufo-Addo and the governor of Bank of Ghana, Dr. Addison, there is the plan that these consolidated bank will now come back into private ownership. So this is down for Ghanaians. to decide if they will allow such a thing to happen. The Ghana Amalgamated Trust, GAT, received GHC BOO million from government to ensure that ABB, Prudential Bank, Universal Merchant Bank, NIH, and Omni BSIC Bank were able to meet the minimum capital requirements set by the Bank of Ghana. So it appears that the Bank of Ghana is also involved in this, how should I say it, a scam or an intent to defraud a nation. So the leadership of Bank of Ghana under Dr. Addison are actually implicated in this plan. These banks are either government banks, ADB and NIB, in the main, have friendly ownership. That notwithstanding our local and international partners are ready and able to take over government stakes arising from GACDOO million injection, the takeover of CBG, and the acquisition of significant equity holdings in the GATT. Assisted banks represent our strategy for direct play in commercial banking space in the country. ASA result of our hold on these banks, two goals will be met, namely direct financial contribution in the form of dividends, and secondly, the granting of funding support to our designated local businesses. So this is the problem with Africa, that we are basically destroyers of our own destiny. So whilst in a nation like Rwanda, which saw a genocide in 1994, and a nation that was totally on its feet with a good leader under Paul Kagame, Rwanda has been able to turn its story around and now stands as the leading stars of Africa as a nation. And yet Ghana, a country that was the first to have independence from British colonial rule, today is in such huge debts. There is the sovereign default. So, a nation where the Bank of Ghana could not actually basically serve its domestic and foreign debts, just because individuals have plotted to basically loot national coffers to an unimaginable level. I am only saying this if this document is factual, but this will be down to Ghanaians to decide, yes, or the audience, or the viewers to decide the validity of this document based on the play of events. Adopted children, these are the top banks in the local scene and largely foreign ownership that we will not be able to take controlling equity stake. However, we still need to wield substantial influence in their operations through the leverage over key management personnel and some board members. The aim here is not necessarily direct financial contributions from these banks, but rather to ensure funding for private businesses aligned to our cause. In the unlikely event our bloc is not in power, we could also count on them to make pronouncements that will influence public opinion against the ruling government. These adopted children include ABSA, EcoBank, GCB, Stanbic Bank, and Senate Bank. Adopted children. ABSA, formerly Barclays, the management of this bank is largely aligned, and it's difficult to read this, but I see, and I don't know if it's Antoinette Kofi, who is Director of Finance, is fully behind our project.
Fully behind.
This explains her presence on the board of the Minerals Income Investment Fund board. In the event that the position of managing director of the institution becomes vacant, hopefully with Nana still in power, diplomatic channels to Pretoria should be utilized in support of Antoinette ascending to the role. The substantial now of government business to the bank since Nana came to power should continue to keep the bank on our side. So when Nana is mentioned, it's actually referring to the president of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. EcoBank. We have two routes of entry into this institution. First is through SNET, which is the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, which has a seat on the board of EcoBank Ghana. By virtue of its shareholding, that seat is occupied by the director of SNET. In phase 2 of our agenda, Kofi Bosompem Osafo Mafo, who is deputy director of SNET, should be made the DG, maybe Director General, to give him the seat on the EcoBank board.
Charles.
Secondly, the wife of Ace Ankoma is the group head of Commercial Bank and a member of the executive management of EcoBank Group. Or is it EcoSank Group?
Ace Ankoma recently, last year, or they made Dr. Ren, or they made court. Meaning Nana Jantua, or the air court. Another day. Only meaning Nana Jantua court too. Is Ankoma no. At the end, meaning Nana Jantua a video. Ewo Rainbow Radio. Ama you good. Oh dear, no, fan twinche. These people.
Our intelligence is that both the role of Group CEO and Managing Director of EcoBank Ghana will become vacant in the next 2 to 3 years. Nana has been advised to use all diplomatic avenues to support Isi Ankoma, his wife, to fill one of these impending vacancies. So you can see the plot of a government that is made up of friends and family, appointing themselves to roles that are in effect, for other experienced and qualified Ghanaians to take, are given to friends and family. GCB Bank. This bank is already under government control. The main strategy here is to ensure that appointment to the board and key management roles are based on loyalty to our cause. So they are not appointing people based on merits, but people on loyalty.
It is, GCB no open position or one in your mind, and you're based on merit and loyalty. The same way in the Ghana Armed Forces, no. Positions be what it's not based on merit to be based on what loyalty. So a kufu no a loyalty game. What you say?
Loyalty to their cause. We Stanbic is another South African bank that we can leverage on the diplomatic relationship between Accra and Pretoria to ensure that the successor to Andani and other key appointments subsequent to that are favorable to the project goal.
Abudani.
So here we see some total operation assets. So this is, I'm not going to go into these details, but it goes on listing the banks in Ghana and probably their liquidity and how it's grown over the years. So we see EBG, GCB, and the list goes on. I'm not gonna bother with going through this data, but I'm more interested in the contents of what has been written down. 1.4 Insurance Mother. The current team at the helm of the National Insurance Commission, especially the Insurance Commissioner, is well aligned and so far has worked effectively in furtherance of our objective. This has underscored a clear understanding of the loyalty to Nana and our broader political objectives. So long as they continue in this vein, there will be no need for changes at the helm. So you can see this is a plot in controlling insurance companies, ensuring that people.
1981, 1979, 80, 81. Rollins ebedi ade 31st, 82, 83. Oforiata obotan scheme bi a ode ba ye bagigi nkofo sika no wie no de dwane kotena America. Adena Rollins ankofa number. That is why I keep telling you, say, when you look at these people, the game, they've been playing it too.
That are in position are working to their benefit rather than to the benefit of the nation. Routine monitoring of how things are unfolding at the Commission is the recommended action for the first half of Phase 2. From 2023, it is envisaged that the Commission will be headed by a Bawumia loyalist. Biological children. The enterprise group is the dominant leader of the insurance industry, and its position has been strongly enhanced since the coming into power of NPP in 2017. There is still no need to aggressively pursue direct acquisition of additional insurance companies. The Phase 2 strategies for continuous control include the following. Continue to push major government insurance deal to enterprise insurance. Sponsor election of candidates to executive positions of key labor unions such as GNAT, GACRAT, UTAG, TOCTAG, GMA, etc., so they can influence the appointment of enterprise trustees and Enterprise Investment Limited to trustees or fund managers of the Tier 2 and 3 pension funds of these labor unions. Then we go to adopted children. There is no active strategy for influence of the other insurance companies beyond appointment to the board and senior management of SIC Group. Then we go to 1.4.2 capital market. Mother, compatriot Ogbami Tete. Compatriot Ogbami.
I say COVID-19 buy now. I send state insurance SIC and I send this on making sure some insure nurses, doctors, the frontline workers. But Yakofa, a different company, different insurance company. Sikana is a common Ghana, a core individual. Individuals, they are the ones that almost setting up the control. Well, how they are playing us. All your software, me bombaya MPP say MPP mini. Your software, a day. Jai Sampai.
Tete, I think at this stage I will bring this to a close and continue.
You part 2 no beba. Yaya dear pa YouTube for idea. The numbers were somewhere around 84, 85, 90, and somewhere closer to 100. I had the Facebook also. I had the you know. Thank you so much. It's a series 2 any the about a Agyapade to wait inheritance. A yanka say Agyapade or mine Agyapade belonging to a gamanje. Awulai nzemafo hene asantefo hene domafo hene gonjafo hene asantefo hene Ghanafo nyina dia no Akufu Ado ene womo hene ofori panyini amwetia ene Ken Ofuyata sorry Ken Ofuriata omo epese omo fa ye Agyapade. So what you been pon woman near Bemua or ma control ye. Eti banks gunoa ye suno e bi wuno or musi a yomo energy. Abusia and sana me jaw hono.
Me jidi in my faith.
Me the video we and a bit chat to na sebi won so wet bi because me jidi se e ho be hia se ubeti bi papa na eja. Ye nyina no ye de akwa adwendwenem na da foforo ye hia na san edi enkomo kama ope eye Agyapade book eye document bia de ehia ne se oko Google na wabo Agyapade spelling ye Agyapade ana se obo eye Agyapade o de 3 sign shehwa you are good to go. You can download the document na nyame adomo a the next series no me no ebetwetwe nkomo because I want all of us to go along to your textbook no what you see so we mu wesua de don't let it be say ubete wo menkwame and you keep the message. Don't let it be like that. Yenyen to say Jehovah Witness for. Yenyen to say a Christo for. Yenyen to say Muslimi for. Yenyen to say the we are religion for the and they spread the message. It would in command. This week, bring it up. What about Agyapade no? Say Ebusia we so mo befa Ghana for Agyapade. What bring it up deliberately. Send your Christo ni wa Juma Korano. Deliberately they bring up the conversation of Jesus Christ. You also bring it up deliberately. What you see? So we encounter a Ghanaians try what you see and bring it up. Me jaw honamako. Nanano no about the N2 Manimuncho this week. I always say the greatest medicine in this world is belief. When you believe, work towards what you believe, and definitely you will achieve. Have a great week.
Antichrist. It's Antichrist. All those boys, including the people that send them, are Antichrist. The MPP, the New Patriotic Party, is Antichrist. It's Antichrist. All those boys, including the people that send them, are Antichrist. So then we can have an Antichrist government, an Antichrist leader, an Antichrist. The Antichrist is a system more than a person. It's a system. Can you just imagine whilst I'm preaching here right now, people enter here and say, we don't like you. Nonsense. You don't like me. The Antichrist is a system more than a person. It's a system. Can you just